Oh, there's Manny, and we are live.
Cool.
All right, there he is. All right, we're already live, Manny.
All right, let's do this.
So what I thought we might do, I was just going through JLD's book, and what he had in there for a format for a mastermind, I thought that was maybe we should add a little bit more rigor to it, is doing essentially like a 10-minute, everyone goes around and does their wins, and then a 30-minute hot seat that alternates, and then sort of like a wrap up at the end, kind of giving your thoughts, or asking questions and stuff like that. So
I
how
like
does
that.
that sound
Yeah,
to you
I
guys?
like that idea of the wins because we also do that for our company that with we got that from Tribe of Buyers as well. That's what they do. It's offer the wins.
Cool. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. See what happens.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start off with some wins. I got some not fitness related wins, but my running has been awesome. I've lost a lot of weight, getting ripped again, like just losing weight super fast, feeling super good too. The fitness level is, and it's just been helping my energy. Just been feeling great, every day. Waking up at 5:40 now, and either hitting my run workouts. Just such a huge impact. I can't believe how much of an impact it's had on my energy levels and motivation. Also, focus blocks has been awesome. That, like, I've been hitting a ton of focus blocks, getting into the habit of doing it, and super valuable. For me getting a lot of stuff done. I got a big win in business was I'm getting my books in order for Bulldog Mindset, because I always had just the books for my bigger company. So in doing that, I was trying to hire bookkeepers, and I realized that most bookkeepers actually kind of suck because they don't understand technology and they don't even understand the tools. So I did my own research and I found tools in QuickBooks. I found this tool called Snyder, which I hooked up to my QuickBooks, and it pulls in all your Stripe and PayPal transactions, and it knows how to coordinate them with the distributions so that it pulls in all of your sales individually and then categorizes them automatically. So I literally have a breakdown in my QuickBooks now where I can see, like, for membership, broken down into $29 plans, $39 plans, yearly plans, platinum membership. I can see every single product, and I can see a roll up of it. I've created the sub accounts, and I've done all that myself. And I've used a class system to separate the parent account from the child business, from my Sanma's Ventures LLC to the Bulldog, all in one thing. So I basically now I'll be able to, instead of hiring a bookkeeper that was going to cost me $300 a month and then manually doing that, now I'm going to be able to get someone that's probably going to be like $50 a month, and all they have to do is categorize transactions and reconcile accounts. So that was a big win. I also did the same thing with my personal budgeting. I set up a system, which is pretty cool. I'm using mint.com. And what I did with that is I made it so that I set up a budget in Mint, and basically, like, things like taxes, right? Because we all have to pay taxes as entrepreneurs, and like home property taxes, insurance, and a vacation fund. That all goes to an account I set up at Ally Bank, which has buckets which you can use. So in Mint, the way that it looks is that I do transfers out to that Ally Bank, and I include them in the budget there. And then I also set up for my income for the budget just a fixed amount of money that I'm pulling in from the business every month. So there's not that up and down of, right. That's the challenge of budgeting as an entrepreneur. So I figured out this whole system. I've got it working. I'll eventually do a video on it and explain exactly how this whole thing works. But I think I mean, I could probably sell this system as a product itself. So yeah, that's my big wins.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd be super interested to see that video. It sounds very streamlined.
Yeah, Josh, you want to go?
Sure. As I told John, I'm going to Bali on Wednesday, so that's exciting. Got some stuff to do before I head out. It's great. On the health front,
Bowling?
Bali, Indonesia.
Oh, you're going to Bali. Nice. First time?
First time in Bali, yeah.
Nice. I was there in 2019. Fun place.
Yeah, everyone speaks highly about it. So
How long are you going to be there for?
a month. Yeah.
Nice. Do you
And
know
that's
what part of Bali you're going to be in? I mean,
the
stay in?
southeastern tip. I forgot the name of the actual area, but it's the very southern tip. And we're gonna travel all over.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, on the health front, I'm actually not grateful, but like wins, but like I'm dealing with like a shoulder impingement, but so that's not really a win. But and on the
That
business
makes
front,
three of us.
yeah, man, it's a nagging one. It'll come in, it'll go away, it'll come, it'll go away, and I'm an idiot. Like I'll sometimes like try to work through it, which is stupid. Um,
Tell me about it.
Yeah, right. So yeah, on the business front, I mean, we're wrapping up the Marriage Mastery like version 3.0, and that one's like we feel like that one's going to be the most solid version. We don't have to do another iteration of that. That's going to get the results. Our Facebook ads are running good, smoothly, and yeah, I mean, that's on the business front. That's going really well. So I think we've had the most clients this past 2 weeks than we had at any other previous biweekly period since we started it. So that's good.
Awesome.
That's good, man. So for me, I think, yeah, our Facebook ads are doing, I mean, I just rolled them out for this funnel, 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, but finally like getting those people on a webinar and closing the sale. So that process is now streamlining. We got a couple of sales on the webinar. Spent $2,500 in the last 10 days or so. So close enough to break even on that, but it's just a proof of concept at that point for this webinar to work properly. Because we only got so it's proof of concept that it's working, but of course there's so much more to improve on that shit because it needs improvement. So that's the win for the week. And what else? Yeah, really, that's it. Like that's been my focus the whole week, trying to get this proof of concept webinar to work.
Awesome. All right, so I guess we'll do. Who wants to do the first hot seat?
I think we may or may not need like the whole hour for a hot seat. Can we do like 15-20 minutes per person and go around the table and see where everyone's like challenges are and talk about them? Or do you think 1 hour for one person and then the next and the next, so it takes almost a month to get to one person? Is that how you want to do it?
I think that's probably the best way to do it. This way we have enough time to discuss. Right. Unless you've got like, if you don't have enough stuff to talk about, but in a month time, each one of us should have enough stuff to talk about business wise.
But then, yeah, I can see that. But like every week shit is happening, like shit's happening so fast. A month is too long a time to talk about what you're going through or what's happening in business. Personally, that's my take. Like a month is not enough. Like if I talk about business once a month, like it's like, well, it becomes much more of a very like, I mean, shit happens almost every week. Things are improving, modifying, changing.
We could try the split, John, and then next time we can see how that goes. I'm cool with that as well.
Yeah, no, I'm cool. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can do the split if we got time.
And we can time it with 15 minutes per person or something. That way it makes it easier.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, because we're at 9:13 right now. So yeah, so that'll wrap up just in time. All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in. So if you guys remember, the main part of the business I fulfill is the client acquisition and service delivery. But when it comes to the leads, it's like my main struggle right now is YouTube, which has been an up and down battle. I've just, as far as action, I've scheduled 2 consults with like 2 like big channels that like focus on YouTube growth. So as far as action, I'll be having consults with them in the next month. But I don't know, man, like I put a lot more energy and effort into these previous months videos, and they're not performing and on the metrics, click-through rate, watch time, much better than the other videos. And I'm not sure why. And when I look at previous videos that have done really well, there's kind of a couple variables that make sense that you should add to every video, but not really consistently. And so I'm having a lot of, this has been an up and down battle for me for years, like with YouTube, I try to like make stuff work. And I'm not sure, like, I have so many ideas, but I can't back it with data. You know what I mean? So I'm not entirely sure what to do to increase the amount of growth.
I think you're getting throttled by YouTube because of the content. I think you're hitting the keywords, the red pill, a few of those things that are, because I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. And I have a breakout channel that's actually doing well because I created a new channel, and that channel's exploding in growth. And it's because we're not hitting any of those concepts. At least that's what I think, because if you look at my Bulldog Mindset channel, it just no matter what I do, I can't get any kind of growth on it. I mean, I'm just doing better, right? But it's still nothing. It's not breaking out of this sandbox. But if you look at the Bulldog Mindset highlights channel, that thing is just exploding in growth. Like, it's only got 8,000 subscribers, but each video gets 3,000 to 4,000 views.
Well, as far as like red pill content, that's like a marker where like YouTube kind of like shadow bans it. I mean, a lot of other red pill channels like blow up, right? So I'm not sure that's true.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have a theory about it too. It's like, I think a lot of the red pill channels that blow up, it's because they're derogatory towards women. So despite YouTube shadow banning them, it just gets such ridiculous watch time and so many guys click on it. I don't know. That's what the best thing I can come up with, because I was looking at your videos too, and your videos are excellent. Like what you're doing now, you're doing multiple scenes where you're transitioning, like you're doing every single thing right. Your thumbnails are on point. Your titles are on point. Like, I just don't see anything.
So I have a theory that we're testing right now. Our channel's not monetized, right? Now YouTube claims in their fine print that they don't differentiate how they promote videos based on monetization. But as a company, you would think if they had two videos with the exact same titles, one had monetization on it and one didn't, when they want to promote the one that they would make money off of. That's my theory. And so we just turned on monetization. We're going to test that, but I don't know. That's my thought, because we haven't had monetization for the past 6 months.
What's the challenge? Is it the views? Is it the click through?
Yeah, it's all. So it's mainly, I mean, views is a byproduct of good click through and watch time, right? That they'll promote a video and like suggested recommended videos on the side more often if they have those good metrics.
Your objective is to get book a call, right? So for every 1,000 views you get, how many people are showing up on the?
We get like one per 1,000, which is pretty good, I know. But so we get like 5 calls for 5,000 set up.
Well, okay. Do you want to share your analytics? Like, do you want to share your screen and look at? And then I can share mine and show you the one that's growing, and then we can compare that and see what the click-through rate and watch time and stuff is.
So you're happy with the back end results, as in for every 1,000 views you get one call? No, in the sense, that's not the challenge. The challenge is the front end views, right, not the conversion of the video. Is that right?
I guess what I'm just trying to say, like the frustration is that these past month videos, we put in probably like 50% more effort, and it's the same amount of views as the previous month. Like, I could just sit down and just record one scene, just me talking, and it'll get the same amount of views as me doing multiple scenes of studies and stories and cut scenes and all this stuff, right? So it's like, why put the extra effort in? Yeah,
and something happened 4 months ago on your channel, because 4 months ago your videos were doing really good.
We had a couple that blew up, and then it kind of like just all of a sudden stopped.
Yeah. I mean, your thumbnail style is different, but it should be better now. Like,
are you sharing your screen?
I can, yeah.
You know what killed your views?
What's that?
Shorts.
You think so? I
mean, it seems kind of dumb, but when I look at your videos, when I see the drop off, it's after shorts started coming out.
We debated for a solid 2 months, not 2 months, like a whole month, whether we should put shorts on a separate channel, the same channel. I did all the research, watched all the other YouTubers talk about it. I fought to have a different channel, and then my operations manager and another business partner, they thought it was better to keep it on the channel. And
Shorts hurt me at first, and then they started working. I don't know though.
That's the thing, John, is I've seen some other channels, especially in our space. Like Julian's channel, for example, had a couple that blew up, like this guy named Casey Zander, like Entrepreneur in Cars, like they all had a couple of shorts that did like multi-million views that brought in like 50, 60, 70,000 subscribers. So it can help if you have good shorts that blow up.
Okay, let's take a look at like your latest video and let's look at the analytics on that. Or go to your, you can go to your dashboard. So, okay. So 4.3K views. Let's look at the reach.
Right here on
reach. Reach. Yeah. So, okay. Impression click-through rate is fairly low at 4.8%.
Yeah.
I see videos at 7 and 8% doing well.
10% is really good.
Yeah. What about retention? Go to engagement. And then, okay, view duration.
Right down here.
Okay. Yeah, so that retention curve on that, scroll down a little bit.
It's a little bit lower than normal, actually, because the normal is the gray.
65% at the 30-second mark. We want to see that at 70 to 75%. Mm-hmm. So they only, like the two things with retention is either the video is not, they feel like it's not delivering what they thought that the thumbnail was about, or the intro is killing them off. It's not creating enough of a hook.
Yeah. I started this one off a little different by jumping in right straight into a story, which I thought would captivate the audience, like jumping right into a story. But yeah.
Let me show you. Let me bring up the stats on the channel that is doing well. We can compare that. So actually here, I'll do this. First, we'll start with the regular Bulldog Mindset one, and then we can compare that, because I think I'm facing the same problem if we can crack this nut, but I think we did on the other channel. Okay, so you guys can see this channel, right? So if I look at, like, let's say the last video, let's go to one of the videos here. So this one's scheduled for today. This one's a bad example because that one was not like, let's go to like a regular content type of stuff. Hold on, analytics. Okay, so on this one, something like this, yeah, click-through rate is 4.5, so it's no good. Engagement is
pretty good.
66 at, or 60%, 66 at 30 seconds. Now watch what happens if I switch to this other channel. Oops. Okay. This one. So this Bulldog Mindset Highlights channel, my editor on this has got this nailed down. So if we look at the analytics on this one, and you can see that the growth is crazy. Like this channel with 8K subscribers has 232K views per last 28 days. If we go to one of the videos, let me see. Let me go into one of the videos. Okay. So this last video that came out, the Sigma Male one, we're looking at click-through rate at 7.7%. And then when we look at engagement here, we don't even have engagement data yet. Let me go to the previous one. Let's look at this one. Here's analytics. Okay. So this one has a click-through rate of 7.3%. It's been pretty consistent with it. I guess it started to go down as it got a wider view, but then engagement here, 77% of viewers around the 30-second mark. So that's the difference that I'm seeing in the metrics with these, with the channels. Yeah, so I find that all the ones on this channel, I wish there was a way to see, or I guess there's a way you can see all the click-through rates, but if you go to the advanced, then you can see like click-through rates. Let's go to views by video. There should be CTR on here.
You can test different.
Oh, here we go. Impressions.
You can test different thumbnails using TubeBuddy, and that's a great way to bump up the CTR. I've always gotten at least 10, 20, 30% bump on those things. Even 100% sometimes will double the CTR just because of testing the thumbnail. I don't know, John, if you do that, but literally you take one of your best performing videos or one of your kind of a video in the 4 or 5% range, and you test like 3 or 4 thumbnails, and you'll find a winner again. And it's just like free views there when you do that.
But we're seeing, if you take an existing one, but in the first few days, that's when it matters the most. So, but
it does, but it does not, like, because you can take an existing one and you can blow that one up with the right thumbnail, and suddenly that starts getting a lot more traction. And even in the first 7 days, if you start testing thumbnails, in 7 days you'll get a lot better data on which thumbnail is working better, rather than just throwing up a thumbnail, but having multiple variations of a thumbnail being tested at the same time, so you know which one's winning.
I agree. I mean, I think
because thumbnail is ultimately the easiest thing to do, but has the highest return on investment for someone. Because if you go from 5% to 6% or 7% or 4% to 6%, you didn't just go by 2%. You actually improved your views by 50%.
What we've learned though from doing this, like, Diego geeks out completely on, because his whole job is just to run this one YouTube channel, right? So his data is showing, and what we've been working on is this idea that it's not just the thumbnail, it's the thumbnail title combination, right? So it's like the way that we're looking at thumbnails is we're saying, okay, thumbnail gets them to look, and then title gets them to click, right? It's almost like copy, right? Like headline's job is to get them to read the first line of the copy. So it's like this combination. But you're right. I mean, obviously, if you A/B test these things,
same Facebook ad, exact same Facebook ad, 2 different pictures will basically have very drastically different performances by 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% at times.
And then the thing about it too is like, so the other piece of this, I think, because there's a 3-part of this, right? It's thumbnail, right? Which gets them to look at the title. Title gets them to click. Then the first 30 seconds of the video has to fulfill the promise of the thumbnail. Otherwise you lose retention, and then the video tanks even if it has a high click-through rate, because then they think it's clickbait. So it's like connecting all 3 of those things. It's like coming up with the concept of, okay, this thumbnail and this title is going to produce this question in their head. In the first 30 seconds, we're going to get them either deeper into that question or give them the answer to that, but then they want to learn more, right? So I think that's the way that because those are as far as I can tell with YouTube, those are the 3 most important elements: is the click-through rate, and then the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Alex Hormozi was telling a story about Dean Graziosi and how he did this advert for like this huge product, and like with Larry King, and he saw that the first 30 seconds were like, we're not going to do well. And they tried it out, and it like, I mean, the first day, like no sales at all. He's like, oh crap, he had to fly all the way back there. He redid it just the first 30 seconds, and ended up being multi-million sold just because of the first 30 seconds of like a 2-hour-long presentation.
Wow.
So the first 30 seconds are a lot more important than you would expect. But I'm trying to find the right formula for the hook, because I've tried different things that have worked differently, right? Whether asking a powerful question, restating the title, or trying something completely different, right? And I can't find a consistent thing that always works with the hook.
Yeah, because it's a combination of the things, I think. Like if we look at, we could take a look at what Diego's doing, because again, he's just geeks out on this shit, and he's been doing good with the channel. Let's look at the hook that he did for the video, because he's just repurposing stuff in order to create this.
Right.
So let's see. Okay, your channel. Okay, so like this one. Hold on. So that was his hook for this video.
Oh, yeah, so we couldn't hear that, John.
What's that?
We couldn't hear any of that.
Oh, you can't hear it, but you could see it, right?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, okay.
He didn't say anything. It just had clicking noises. But let me see. Is there a way on?
Share sound.
A lot of effort went into the
share sound.
Intro,
so if you go into, I think.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that one. Let me go back and see another one that he's. that he did, like this last one.
The biggest question I get is, so when do you rest? When do you recover?
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare people, but the truth answer is, I don't take any days off.
No days.
No days.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
There's these monks that I forget what they're called. So that, let's see, he created it like a movie almost story. And I think if we look at the analytics on this one, let's just double check. But we're going to see a high retention at the 30 seconds. Because this is what he honed in on, was that this was the most important thing. 77% of viewers at 30-second mark makes a successful video. We'll check one more of them just to verify this.
The biggest question I get is,
Ideas. Like this one.
I'm going to tell you a story of how I turned around a software development team from being the worst performing team to the best performing team, outperforming other teams by probably 3 times what they were doing.
So yeah, see what he's doing with these. It's like,
Can you have health, wealth, relationships, all of those things, or do you have to sacrifice one to get the other?
so when we start videos, right, myself included, we're like, hey guys, I'm going to talk about this. When he starts a video that he edits, he's like opening credits to a movie. So that, I think that's the key there, which actually, now that I'm looking at these, I'm going to start doing that for my regular YouTube videos. But
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It evokes more emotion, which, releases the dopamine, which keeps them engaged.
But I do think you're being shadow banned as well, though, because when we saw that big drop.
I don't like to think that, because even if it's true, it's like I
know.
it's not my control. So yeah.
Yeah, but it does. The other thing looking at your channel too is like the shorts, right? There is a correlation. Like if we look at this, right? I was just looking at this let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so if we look at your,
God, I know everyone in their mind.
right? Let's go to videos. Okay, so we're looking at the views here, right? These views are around 4 to 6K, right? 7K, right? And then when we go, this is the first short that came out, right?
Yeah.
Before the first short came out, 11K, 8K, 8K, 9K, 9K, right? This is with like the peak. You probably had some hit video that was helping all of these,
Right.
I'm guessing, but it seems like, again, this is just speculation. Like these were crazy, like 285K, 170K. It seems like as soon as this first short came out, it just killed the damn channel.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could be wrong about it. I mean, this one, but this one's
there's
an outlier.
there's a correlation. Well, that one was a freaking,
News.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But it does seem like the shorts are some way responsible for that. And when I looked at when I first started doing shorts, I had lost thousands of subscribers at a time for months. Now I'm finally getting subscribers again, but I don't know if it's just because I don't know why it happens, but it seems like that could be what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely just try to focus more just on the hook and the intro and the title. I'm now put more energy and effort into that and see if that helps. But other than that, we might have to examine separating the shorts. But
yeah, I'm making a separate shorts channel after having this conversation today, because after looking at your data, like there's a bunch of things I'm changing just from looking at your problem now. So I'm putting that as a note. But yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, is to make a separate shorts channel.
cool. I'm good. Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
All right.
Do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So we had our webinar yesterday. And it's an interesting bag. And the thing I think that is the big challenge is that we had I think on this one, 30 people showed up. But then one of the things was, because this was kind of moving from what I was initially doing to the live focus blog version of it, we had a huge drop of people who were not even expecting it to be like that level of like work zone, right? They were like, oh, this is just going to be some educational bullshit. I was like, no, we're actually going to do a live, we're going to do a live work session right now. You're going to have experience this live. So we lost a bunch of people because of it. So we went from 30 people down to maybe 18 or 16, with 16 people who actually did the focus block and went through the whole thing. And it was like at the end, I was like, okay, so how'd it go? Like, so many, almost everyone's like, dude, this was amazing, life changing, so good, all that stuff. But then I go to the pitch and I only get 2 people to buy, which is not necessarily bad, but it's not at all worth it to me to do anything live like that. If I get out of 18 people, 2 people to buy, at that point, it should be more like 4 or 5 people buying to make it worth it. So now I'm like, okay, why, even after they experienced it, could I not get them to buy it? Right? Is something broken in the offer? Do they still believe that somehow this is not like enough for them? Or maybe there are some other objections that I don't understand right now as to why they didn't buy.
What's the price point?
It's $1,000 for a year.
Okay, so there's something to think about here, first of all, right? Which is you don't have statistical significance, nothing even close. I'm trying to look up a variance calculator here so we could see what the odds are of you only selling 2 out of 18 based on percentage close rate, because 2 out of 18 is roughly a 10% close rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not good enough for trying to do this live at any time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
because live takes a lot of energy and effort, and you don't get enough people showing up for live compared to an automated webinar. So you lose half the people just because of that. So I'd much rather take automated at 5% conversion than live at 10% conversion.
Well, hold on. 2 things there. So first of all, we don't know. You could be, the next time you do this, you could close 4 people or 5 people, right? That's I think there's a 50-50 chance that that's the case. Again, I'm not a statistician, but I think based on that.
We don't know.
There's a huge opportunity here because 30 people joined the webinar and only 18 people stayed for the focus block. Yeah. So instead of focusing on the close part of it, right? Why don't you focus on to get people to stay around, because you know that they're going to leave. So prep them ahead of time before the webinar even starts. Say, hey, we're going to do something really exciting on this webinar, something that you've never seen before. But here's what you need to do to be prepared. Like, pick your biggest task, the thing that is you're procrastinating on the most. Like, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do, but it's going to be awesome and you're going to love it. But be prepared to sit down and to have a quiet place.
And I did that. And partly, like, I'm actually improving it now. Like what you're just saying, like, we're including all of that in the email copy as well, in the initial invitation copy, so that when they come, they already know that they should be in a place where they can actually work, and they shouldn't join from your phone, that you shouldn't join from phone, and they will need to turn on their camera and all of those things, because people didn't know all of that. So a lot of that was lost in that initial like transition from like, oh shit, I can't do it from my phone. Oh shit, I need to turn my camera on. So I lost like people, but that's something I have to frame ahead of time before they even get on it, before they even get on the call, they need to know that that's what's going to be the case. So I agree with that. Like, I'm already working on it. I've already got my emails like being modified for that, and our invitation being modified for that. And
keep the hook, though, the mystery to a degree, right? Don't tell them what's coming. But, and then when you're getting ready to do the focus block part of it, be like, hey, look, I know you're going to want to drop off. I know a lot of you are going to drop off. Don't. Actually,
did not. It was good. Like, did not. The only people there are people who did not turn on their camera, so I kicked them out. I told them, if your camera is not on, you're not working. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to remove you. They still didn't turn their camera on, so I removed them. But the remaining 18 people.
Why is that, Monty? Because like, I feel like some people are they're shy on camera, right? They could have been there working with the camera off.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't work as much for them. That's the whole point of the reason. Like, so unless you are in the focus block, unless the whole point of focus block, there's a reason why it works, and camera is a big reason why it works. Right, so you take away the reason why it works, then it doesn't work. Sure. Then there's no use letting them do it.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So that's part of the challenge of people understanding. Like, I can let them do it. Like if I don't set strict boundaries, they just go back default to their own ways, and then nothing, like they don't get any results, and they blame the system for it.
Yeah.
Right. The system works because there are very specific boundaries and there are very specific constraints, and that's what makes it so powerful and so damn effective. So I'd much rather give the best damn thing to a smaller subset of people than give us like half-ass solution to a larger set of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just gotta, I mean, I think just if you modify those emails, like you said, and people are prepared and they know they're gonna have to turn on their camera, then you're gonna have a higher percentage of people that are gonna stick through. And then if you close 10% of them, but if you have 50% of more people on the focus block, then you'll be solid,
Yes and no. Even at that point, like I'm kind of really confused as to why like people who got such amazing results did not buy. So I feel like there's something wrong with the offer. Maybe the annual, like a year-long offer is too much of a thing. Maybe they need like a shorter offer, or maybe there's a different way to frame the offer. Or here's what I was thinking, and this is something that might be the next thing I do, because I'm going to do another one on Sunday. The problem with like when I'm running ads at like we're spending all this money acquiring leads, they better show up on a live webinar before it's too late and they go cold, and then I'll never see them again, right? So
how's your follow-up sequence with these guys that use it and got results? And then,
well, the problem right now is that I don't know who showed up and who didn't. I didn't know yesterday, because the emails, like all I know is these people registered, but out of those, like how many, or I don't even know who registered. The only people I know are on the list of like sequences, which are automated sequences from these webinars that we have with lots and lots of people on them. So I don't know out of 800, which of those 30 people showed up today compared to which of these 30 people showed up last week.
You need to know that though. Is there
I
a
know.
way you can find it out?
Zoom, it's hard. Like I'm going to start putting a Zoom registration window before they hop on the Zoom call. So that way I have their name and email address going forward. So hopefully that will help, and not help, like we will know now exactly who those people are. So we will be able to follow up with them much more consistently compared to what we have. So yeah.
Don't do a lower price offer on the webinar. Instead, do a downsell offer afterwards to test that, right? So offer them something for $500 for the people that went through and see what happens. And if you get a very high conversion rate there, then one of two things: either that's fine, you just do it that way. You sell some people $1,000 on the webinar, you sell some people $500 after, or you could sell everyone $500 on the webinar and see how that works.
Yeah. So currently it's like $1,000 for the year. I would probably sell them on $500 for 3 months to test that offer. It won't be cheaper, actually be more expensive for them, but it'd be $500 for 3 months to see if it's the length of the commitment that they're scared of. And they're like, I don't know if I'll do this for the next 1 year. And maybe they just, we get them to commit for a month or 2 or 3. And
here's the problem though. You really need to use a statistical significance calculator in doing this testing, because you're testing without proper data. Because if right now you have 18 people and 2 sales, that's not, I mean, you could say from webinar start, but let's say that heard the pitch. I think that's your variable here. If you change something now, you will have no idea if it works or not. Because if you change it to $500 and suddenly you sell 7 people, you're going to think that that's correct, but that might not be correct, because you may sell 7 people at $1,000 the next time, or 6 people at $1,000. So you have to you have to go through a statistical significance calculator and figure out what will be statistically significant. How many people do you need at the conversion rate in order to know what the actual to have confidence in that conversion? And then once you have that at this and it's a baseline, then you can test variations. But I would not test variations until you do that.
So one thing I'm thinking of doing is not making a pitch at all in the next few webinars. Like after they're done with the focus block, I'll be like, hey, if you liked it, schedule a call, and if you want to join, schedule a call so that we can get you started. So no pitch at all. So I can understand what objections people have. So right now I don't understand the objection. Like I don't get it why someone would have an outstanding experience and then I can't get them to spend $1,000 when I know that that person has, like, I know some of these people like who I followed up with, like they're running, multi 6-figure or 7-figure businesses. So how could I not get it to them when they said this was amazing? So I need to understand their objections, and I don't think I get it right now. I don't have any clue on what their objections are. As I'm making up my own objections as to what I think they might have an objection on, but I don't think I know what their true objection is. So I'm thinking of just getting maybe 10, 20 sales calls just to understand where these people's heads are when they are in the buying cycle.
I mean, you can definitely do that on a webinar, but I think you can get people on the sales call way easier than taking them all the way through a webinar as well.
Well, the reason why it's a webinar, or I wouldn't even call it a webinar, it's a demo. I want them to go through the demo before they get on a call. Without the demo, it's like I'm pulling teeth. They have no idea if it works for them or not. Sure. But once the demo is done, now they know it works. Now it's a matter of closing the deal and understanding why they would be hesitant in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea, at least getting on the phone with them and then finding out if you can try and sell it then and overcome those objections.
Yeah, the only problem I'm thinking is they might give you the actual reason objections, or they might give you some other BS objections.
Well, that's the thing. Like I would have to go through 10, 20, 30 calls to understand exactly what the objections are and go deeper and deeper on those calls to find, like at some point in sales, like the more sales calls you take, the more you get clarity on the objections because you can dig deeper with better questions.
You might crush these, calls and just be like, well, I'm just going to do it too. I'm just going to hire a sales rep and just sell these.
And if it comes to that, then I mean, might just end up selling like $2,000 packages rather than these $500 or $1,000 packages, because on a sales call, we can build the value up so much cleaner for someone who's a realtor, let's say, and with the amount of money they can make, like it's so easy to help them understand why this is so valuable for them. But on a mass webinar model, they may or may not even understand, or we may not be able to get them to close. And for an agency owner, it's a different case, and for this person, so who knows? Maybe if after the demo, the call closes well and consistently closes, then we'll just go with the sales team at that point, and then the live demo becomes much easier, because then my structure would be from Facebook ad to a 15-minute video, pre-recorded video that they would watch, and then jump into a live focus block right now. And as soon as they're done with the focus block, which would be happening any time of the day because we run it 24 hours a day, end of it, every focus video will be like, if this is something you're interested in, go book a call, here's the link. So then it kind of automates the whole process.
Here's something you can do right now. You have all the people that have registrants who have attended. Do you have a list of all the people who have gone to a webinar of yours that have not bought?
Well, I have a list of people who registered for the webinar but didn't buy. I don't know who showed up or who didn't show up. I don't know what technology gives that data that easily these days. I think Webinar Fuel might be one of them. But
that's fine. How big is that list? 800 people, you said?
Probably more, like 1,200, 1,300 now. Yeah.
Okay. Send emails to those people. Two things: a downsell offer and a payment plan offer. Split test that. Might as well. There's no harm in doing it, because those people are already dead leads as far as like they didn't buy on the webinar.
Well, so that's the thing. They register. Just because they register doesn't mean they show up. Registration to show up rate is usually 25%.
So you're going to send
75% of them.
So you're going to send some people emails who didn't show up. Big deal, right? But you're going to get the people that did show up. That's the important thing, right? But give them a downsell offer of $500 for 3 months, like you said, but then also give the other half of people, just split to test it, give them a 3-pay payment plan to pay $300 a month for 4 months, for example, for the year, and see if you get some conversions on that and sales on that, because I will just give you some idea. Like, it's not going to translate directly into answering the question of the objections, but it will tell you some idea. Like, if you get enough sales from that, you'll be able to say, okay, if the price point is an objection, or the time commitment, or having a payment plan is what would work better. But you might as well do that. It's just free money.
Yeah. So first, I'm going to do the sales call and see what happens, so I can understand what the hell's going on in their minds. And then once I understand, maybe we fine tune the offer, and then I can blast it out to those people.
No, just send the email now. To why not? 50% one, 50% the other.
Because I'd much rather that they go through the webinar before they actually get a random offer in their email.
But those are people that already didn't go through the webinar. They registered, they didn't show. Are you thinking that they're
Oh,
gonna show
dude,
up
there's
at-
so many. That this is normal for webinar. Like just because they register for a week doesn't mean that they will show up that week. Well, we hit them up
Oh.
again a week later, and they'll show up for the next one. It's a timing issue, right? Because the more webinars you do, the more those people who might have registered in the past will finally show up, because they didn't show up the last time. They're still like, just because they didn't show up last time doesn't mean shit. It only means that they're interested.
I
That's
see,
the only
okay.
thing.
So
But-
you do need to get a list of people. You need to know who showed up.
Yeah, and I'm
absolutely.
I'm gonna do the registration page on Zoom, and I'm gonna do the calls. So hopefully, two of these things will get us a lot more data now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
over
yeah.
to you, John. I know. Yeah.
Just real quick, and one question I had, Manny, is like something John brought up when you made the offer on the webinar. Was it just the one price point at $997 or whatever? So you didn't offer a split payment plan at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I should, or maybe I should just offer a monthly option, the annual and the monthly. That might be the other way to do it. So we can
And then
get
the margins are really high for you, so you can play around with price points, right?
yeah, like the fulfillment cost isn't really the problem. The problem is advertising cost.
Sure.
Advertising cost is
Absolutely.
really the problem. The pain.
Yeah, get on a sales call, man, see what their objections are, and then you can handle them in the future webinars. But if you're saying you don't want to do live webinars, that means you're gonna then lean into like the automated again
Yeah, but they still have to go through a live focus block to get on to understand what the solution
to
is.
show commitment, right?
Yeah, no, to understand what it is, so then they can be sold. If they don't experience a focus block, there's no use selling them at this point. Like from what I'm seeing, because they don't even know what the solution is.
And you're stacking the deck in your favor if they use the product for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Because now I don't have to worry about explaining why it will work for them. They already experienced it. Now it's a matter of like, okay, what's the other thing that's stopping you? Because you know the product works. What else is bothering you? Let's handle that. But yeah, I'll give it to John now. I know we're almost out of time.
But that's okay because I don't have very much. Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on the sales. Like we don't have any new sales. Like the sales team just came on board like 2 weeks ago, basically. So we've really had only 1 week of really good data. I sent some emails to lists, sending leads to.
What's the data right now? Like, what's the conversion steps?
See, the thing is, I can't get good. I just had a meeting with them telling them that, look, this is what we need every single week. Like, it would be really good to know how many people hit the landing page, what percentage of people that hit the landing page filled out the form, right? What's the conversion there? What percentage of how many of those people booked a setter or showed up for the setter call? How many of those people, percentage of people went and booked the closing call, and then how many people closed? They don't have that data. They have a CRM and they're sending me reports, but it does, like, I could manually try and calculate all that data every week. But what I kind of suggested, I was like, look, let's just have a weekly meeting and we could manually calculate that data on the weekly meeting. Like we could look at that. Like you guys have this back-end systems. Let's look at this stuff because
How
I feel
many
like
sales
without
calls
that
did they
data,
have?
it's even hard to like get that number from the reports. Let me see.
Really? That's a problem.
I mean, that's the basic data you want in any kind of sales endeavor.
Right. I agree.
How many setters, how many set calls, how many close calls.
Let me see.
If they're not giving you that data, they're hiding that data.
No,
Because
they're not.
that's the basic data they should be sharing with
No,
you.
they're not hiding the data. It's
So this is
just-
outside agency you hired, John?
Yeah, it's sort of like we're doing a partnership here where they're taking a commission on the sales. So like, let me see. I don't want to put people's personal information up on here, but block this out on Zoom. I mean, I don't think it's gonna. Well, I don't know. There's some emails here. So, for instance, is there a way I can? Let me see if I can show this report. And
By the way, are we ending at 10 or are we going to go on till 10:15 or
I have
10:30?
a meeting at 10 a.m.
Okay.
yeah, I think we should make it fixed.
No. I'd much rather that you go through that thing rather than doing thoughts. So go for it. I just want to know the timing.
Let's do that. Okay. I'm just downloading this. Why is this not opening? Okay. Let me do this. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at here. I'll just hide the columns that are personal information. Okay. Let's do this. I should be able to just share this spreadsheet. Okay, so this is one of the things that I'm getting from them, right? So this is like the data from their CRM of, book closing call, I guess the status changes that they've made for these. So there's a lot of interested, not qualified that are coming in here, but you can see Pakistan, Ghana, right? So, but this
So
is
total book
basically-
calls, how many? Total calls they had? We don't know.
Yeah. See, I can't gather that. I mean, I could like add all these up, right? Book call, book closing call. So book call is a screening call, the setter call. Book closing call is the closing call, obviously. There's another. Oh, go ahead.
It shouldn't be too hard to get that information. I mean,
That's what I was telling them. I'm like, look, you guys, I don't understand how you guys are operating without this information.
You gotta go put the hammer down on these guys. Like, dude, I just want these 4 basic metrics on Mondays. Otherwise, I'm not gonna waste my time doing this shit. You guys give me that data for sure.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like, I want this data. You don't have to give me all the other, like, I don't care about all of this data. This is useless
Right.
data to you.
Exactly.
Because the only data that matters is how many leads came in, how many emails came in, then how many calls were like, or setters were set, and how many actually ended up being on the closing calls and how many were closed. Those are the only 4 or 5 data points you really need. Everything else is garbage information to you.
Because I get this report, and then I'll show the other reports I get right now. I mean, there's a deal report which shows me the deals, right? So that's fine. I mean, that's
Right now you don't know if your landing page is not working, if your VSL is not working,
Right.
if your setter is not working, if your closer is not working, none of that. Like, they're trying to control everything, but damn, man, you need to know what's going on in the business in those numbers, right?
right.
If your landing page is only converting at 10, 20%, there's a problem there, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't think the landing page is super is great. I've got the other thing I'm doing is I'm working on hiring a copywriter, like a new copywriter. I've got some good leads on some really good copywriters. So I'm gonna have a copywriter basically like, hey, my guy will do the sales page here. And maybe even just have them write a better VSL but the VSL part's not really important for booking the call, because they should already be prepped up to book the call, because it's the call to
Hell
action
no.
for the videos and stuff.
Hell no. The VSL is the crucial element. Like, without the VSL, they don't know if that's worth it to them to
VSL
book a call.
the drop of the VSL should like take away the low qualified leads. I think
Yeah, that's true.
But VSL should also like position the offer in a way that it's exciting for them to want to be a part of it. The VSL has to do the sales job.
I mean, I think
first-
I think the VSL is solid.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know like which step is the drop off, because they're not sharing that with you right now.
Yeah.
Whether intentionally or unintentionally, they're just not giving you the data that's actually actionable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so John, we're gonna hear from you next week that you got that data. Then
Yeah, I'm gonna bug them about that data again. Like
You can
reemphasize
literally
that.
be like, this is the spreadsheet I need from you, and you can create the columns for them. Be like,
Yeah.
fill this out and send it to me. I shouldn't have to freaking follow up with you guys on this. And just
That's
send
a
it to
good
me every
idea.
Monday morning.
Yeah.
Whatever you
okay.
need to do on your back end, that's cool. But if we're going to be partners, I need to know some data. I can't just be running blind in this.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because you got 4 sales so far, but only like 4 partial pays, right?
Yeah, and one got a refund on it, so they didn't.
So 3 sales
Yeah. So
in a week.
yeah,
And you've sent email to your list.
right. It's like not like heavy hitter
But-
emails, but
You sent an email to your list and you had like 200-300 clicks from it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you sent.
Like this is the Wistia data on the plays on the
Mhm.
book a call subscription.
You want to look at the engagement on that VSL because that's really going to tell you a
Yeah,
lot.
you can see
of
that
what's-
in Wistia, right? That's
Yeah, you can
how do
look
you
at the analytics.
analyze? Okay.
It's 25% is not good. Play rate is 13%.
Yeah.
So
People play 24.9% of the media. Okay.
that's not good.
I gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
13% play rate is actually not good. Maybe your thumbnail needs some work there.
All right. Let's I guess we'll wrap it up here. Jump out. All right, guys. See you next week.
All right.